Welcome to RIoT Startup Spotlight, where we shine a light on the visionaries and disruptors who are shaping the future. I'm Jen Morgan, and today we bring you an exclusive interview with Dr. Pamela Bynum, founder and CEO of mytCreative. Hi, Pamela. To begin, can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Awesome. It's great to be here. And I'm excited, as you just said, I'm Dr. Pamela Bynum, and Mighty Creative, we like to say Mighty Creative, was founded as an extension, or that name pretty much came as an extension of wanting to have someone say, this is my creative team. But at that time, there was already a my creative team. So we changed it around to my team. And as I played around with the letters, I saw the MYT, Mighty, and I said, oh, I like that, Mighty Creative. So the name kind of stuck with us, and it represents our commitment to delivering like powerful innovation, innovative solutions. We started off with our slogan. We still kind of rock it though, but that slogan is when our team becomes your team. Our vision is to empower business growth through digital solutions, and we're always working as our mission to advance future generations of digital creative minds. So, what does that mean? Well, first of all, we exist to innovate and educate through technology, right? So we innovate by supporting business owners and their growth. And then we educate through technology as we mentor youth and young adults between the age of 15 and 24. So what we do is we teach them problem solving skills through technology, starting with the basics of web development, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And the goal is to introduce them to technology in a different way, maybe in a way they've never thought about before through problem solving skills. And we take them through what we call like a tiered pathway to give them real world experience. So they'll come in as an explorer, then they'll go through what we have as an apprenticeship, where they'll do some hands-on coding and learning, and then we give them an opportunity to become officially a part of Mighty Creative as an associate, and they will come in as junior developers. So that puts us in a position to really deliver what we like to call enterprise level solutions to small businesses that may not have um, access to those cutting edge technologies that they need in their startup process, or as they're beginning to move in through digital transformation in their business. I like to view myself as a team. I like to view myself and my team as what we call a collaborative problem solver, right? We're collaborative problem solvers. So we get to work alongside our clients, our customers, to create and build solutions that really meet their technical needs. And we collaborate with them to really hone in on that vision that they have and then support them as they move forward. So that's just a little bit about Mighty Creative.
That's really interesting. Can you tell me a little bit about what your previous experiences influenced your role today? Like, what's your background? How did you get here?
Oh, wow. How I got here. There's quite a few things here, but I'll try to keep it. um, uh, uh, I'm torn between what I want to say, but let me just start with my background. So, um, I have a degree in computer science. I have a degree in web development, and I have a master's in diplomacy. And I also have an honorary doctorate in humanitarianism, and that came along with my role as a peace ambassador to the UN. So, in that role, I get the chance to focus on digital transformation and education to help deliver quality education for all, but I use it in my expertise. So, it's an amazing experience. I'm doing things I've never done before. I'm walking in rooms and I'm able to take the experiences that I have and serve in a consultative status to take the same experience we're doing here somewhere else where it may be needed in other parts of the world as it relates to education and technology. So, my technical education forms the backbone of our work. This includes from front end development to system integration and being able to build and create technology driven solutions for our clients. So, with a master's in diplomacy, that helps me to be able to enhance my leadership and negotiation skills. It enables me to better understand client needs, to build effective strategies. And I'm also very deeply committed to community impact. So that's why we love working directly with youth to innovate and educate them through technology skills, introducing them to entrepreneurship, business acumen, and teaching them AI, but AI with ethics, right? You can use AI, but don't use AI to do your homework. Um, so I'm loving what we're experiencing here. We get a chance to engage with uh, um, this experience put us in a position where we can engage with them through building technology. We get to nurture responsible future generations of digital creative minds, right? And then that helps undergird the work we do as ambassadors because then we get to integrate these same sustainable development principles into education. Um, so I'm making my aim to really focus on these things in every aspect. We get to continue to drive business transformation. We get to continue to help elevate the business where they are, their brand, facilitate growth, and we do it on both sides for the business and for the youth, which helps ties that community impact. So yeah, that's basically the different roles that I've served in. Um, Allows me to have multiple angles to continue to develop comprehensive and sustainable solutions in both technology and education.
That's really interesting. That's a very diverse background and not one that I would hear that I've ever heard before in terms of how like all the things coming together. Um, with that, how did you go from being, a master's in diplomacy to starting your own business?
Ooh, I would like to say, how did I go from starting my own? Maybe in reverse, right? But um, the master's in diplomacy came as I went through starting my business, and it's the work that we did, the work that we're doing. One of the projects that we worked on was helping the education of 10 young ladies in Ghana, Africa. And we built a platform that allowed them to have mentorship and virtual, I guess, digital PayPals. So they're sending not necessarily letters, but messages back and forth to encourage these young ladies in their education. And then, of course, the tool to help send donations to pay for their education. So that work is what spearheaded me into these opportunities, into ambassadorship and these global opportunities. But that also aligns so well with what we're doing now. And someone sold into my life like that. Someone, I had a mentor who kept saying, wow, you have a great talent, you have a great skill, you should go into business for yourself, you should really consider entrepreneurship. I was young, freshly married, in college still. I was not thinking about walking away from those things to just go into business for myself. And but he continued to encourage me, and so he started me off by becoming my first customer, my first client. And I didn't know I was going to have a business. I didn't have a name. I just was doing work that I love for someone that was supporting me, and watching what I delivered as a solution launched his business in such a way. I had to come on board for a little while to help them with the growth because it happened so fast. And so I got a chance to see firsthand how these things work, how it happens. And that really was the foundation of what we do today. And I had no idea that I'd be standing on that moment, right? So it's been such a great experience. I'm excited about it. And I guess that's how I got into this.
That's really interesting. As you've like done this path and this journey, you touched on this a little bit, but can you dive a little deeper into some of the challenges you've encountered as a startup founder thus far?
Oh my goodness. The two biggest challenges have been growing, right? I'm a solopreneur, solo developer, kind of working on my own. Opportunities came fast, quick. I needed a team. And I would love to say I went out and recruited these people, but I didn't. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, in the right room, having conversations, talking about what I do, and found other versions of me in that room. They love the idea of existing to innovate and educate. They love the parallel, the two pieces that we serve, and wanted to be a part of it. And two of them were like, "I'm gonna stop my business and join yours." I was like, "Oh no, don't do that. Wait a minute, slow down."
You can do both.
Right. And so what I did was, hey, look, let's use what you're doing in your business as a way of training how we do business. And then we can grow together and work together. So that's how we grew our team. So very quickly, and this happened within a year's time period. It went from one person to 10. Um, and um, yeah, my mind is still kind of blown about that. But that's one of our challenges. That's one of the challenges is now how do I take this model that worked perfectly for me? There was nobody to yell at me if it didn't work. I just fixed it, you know, to one conveying the culture and the vision in a way that they catch it. I like to say we're not in business to do technology, and we're not an agency, and we're not. And I always say all the things they're thinking. Well, I thought that's what we were. I said, well, the culture here is we're here to support the vision. And if we don't understand the vision, we can't build the right solution. We're not going to deliver the right thing. So that's been part of the challenge there, the growing pains. And then the other challenge is we had to move away from being an agency. That is not the sustainability for 10 people. Might work for me. So as the problems we had growing as a team came about, I started building a product to support that. And it became so helpful to us that we decided, let's build this and make it available to the public. And so our goal now is we're building an AI tool, but it's really in the background. The whole point is that a customer can come in, interact with this tool, provide what they need from us. And if they decide to work with us, yay. If they don't, they walk away with something that's almost like a lean canvas. And because we're so big on community impact and growth, um, we it's important to add value. And when you add value to someone, they will come back. And so we're hoping that this will work kind of almost like a lead magnet thing, but at the same time, when if they decide to go forward with the progress process, they'll be able to generate a website and some key pieces that they need to function as a business or for their business to function in today technical digital climate um, within a week. That's the goal, to get them there in a week. Real live web presence that they can have up and running within a week. And so we're pushing the limits, but we see how well it helped on the inside. So we want to offer that to the people.
That is awesome. As you've like expanded this team, do you have any mentors or role models who have inspired you while you've been building your business?
Yes. I will start with the gentleman I mentioned earlier. His name is Ronnie Shade. He was the one that laid the groundwork for me on what mentorship is, mentorship, entrepreneurship, and he was my first mentor. Not only did he tell me it was important to, work for myself and build generational wealth, he actually taught me principles that worked in my life as well that I still utilize today. And we still do work for him. It's amazing. So, and then I have Isaac Blount. He is, uh, I like to call him the entrepreneur doctor, but he has his program is called the entrepreneur mindset, I believe, or I think I'm getting it wrong, but um, he has this method of really honing in on that one thing you do well and deliver that well and deliver it over and over again in a way that it doesn't have to be customized to every single person so that it's sustainable and continue can bring in revenue and income. And not only that, but he's real one-on-one, great with just diving into, okay, here's a process I think you might need to work on this. And he tells you the truth in love. And I appreciate it because that causes us to grow. So I really appreciate Isaac Blount. And then Bridget Pfeiffer with Living Better Life. She has what she does annually, two things. She has a doing better business boot camp. It's a 3 day short experience, introducing people to some of the same things I just spoke on. And then that leads into a 12-week incubator. And outside of that, she is a great resource. With Bridget, I learned a lot about collaboration. I was all about being findable and helping other people to understand it's important that you need to be findable. But Bridget took me from findable to fundable and really learning the what's important that other people want to see when they're looking at you to see if this is something we want to come alongside of and invest in or collaborate or partner. And so those three people have been the best. And then not to I don't want to leave out my mastermind groups. I have two that I'm a part of. I meet with one on Monday. They're all marketers. I don't know nothing about marketing. I'm learning from them. They're the best. So I go there and I sit and I learn, and I consider them my mentors. And then the other group, same thing. I just sit and listen and watch them bounce off from each other, what they've learned, what they failed at, and yeah. So that's my growth network.
I really like how like you touched on a variety of different mentor experiences and how they've helped you at different stages of your business and even are still like assisting you today. What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs or future startup founders based on your experiences?
My number one thing is don't be afraid to try something different. And it may sound foreign to you, but it doesn't mean it's not right. It doesn't mean it's not a good fit. Sometimes if you haven't heard it before, then your ears aren't really tuned to fully capture what the outcome is going to be, and what you're learning and hearing. And then also don't reject who it's coming from. Right. I remember when I met Bridget, I was in a hurry. I had things to do. I didn't have time to go to her boot camp, but someone encouraged me to step in the door. And within minutes, I was hooked. And I heard things I had never heard before, but I wanted more. And I'm glad I was willing to break my norm and dive into something different and really become teachable. Always be teachable. Um, if you've reached that, you feel that you've reached the top, you're going to miss out on the next thing. I mean, technology is a great example. It's always changing all the time. You can't say, I got it, and just lock yourself away and be that person. You have to really be able to grow, be teachable, and be receptive to someone who may have your next answer. But if you're not receptive to something that looks different, you won't know your answer. The one thing there's something just missing. That person might have that just missing ingredient if you're not willing to be receptive to what they're sharing. And if you don't like what they're saying, you know it's off. You just nod and smile and politely wait for them to leave, and you just move on. You don't have to have. So that's my advice. Don't be afraid to trust the new.
I think that's great advice, especially in building a business, you have to talk to a lot of people to understand your customer and get that customer discovery. If you're only talking to the people who you think are your customers, you're going to miss out on a whole potential market or your actual customers, and everything along those lines. So that's some really, really great advice, to give to future entrepreneurs and founders. That's all the questions that I have. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure speaking with you.